Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Sorry for this late start. I was dealing with stuff. It's okay, but we're all good here now. Thank you.
How are you?
This is a show where we took the comic books in the past week, recap and review, and tell you what we thought about them, and then recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. We also talk about the news at the top of the hour. Here's the way the structure of the show goes, folks. We talk about the news that is fit to print in the comics world, and then we talk about comics that came out in the past week, and then we select our book of the week, and then we take a minute, actually in between those two segments, we take a minute to talk to the Super Chatters who sponsored today's show and use the Super Chats to ask a question or comment, which we read here on the show in that order.
This is the order.
That's the order. Also, we occasionally talk about movie reviews. We saw Captain America, Brave New World. We'll talk about that in another video or another time.
Yeah, there's just too many comics.
There's too much show. There's too much show to get to. But we do have a not so boring take on the Captain America movie. So, stay tuned for that.
Okay.
We'll chat about that.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about it in context. We can wait a few months and talk about it in context with Thunderbolts, but I think we should just dedicate the time and talk about it because it came out and Thunderbolts isn't going to be until May anyway. But a whole bunch of news. If you are familiar with the show, or maybe you joined us because of our special Friday live stream, then you are aware that Marvel and DC have announced officially at Comics Pro, a retailer's event just this weekend. They're going to cross over again. We're going to get another 2 Marvel DC crossovers, one from Marvel, one from DC. That's the way it goes, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know any more than that. We don't know anything about the nature of those 2 books that they announced. All we know is C.B. Cebulski and Marie Javins working together in tandem. Marvel and DC have officially announced it. So it is official that we are getting at least, and according to their discussion, only as of right now, 2 books. One from Marvel, one from DC.
Yes.
Speculations abound. I think we should do a whole video where we speculate on that and talk about what we should think the rollout might look like.
Yeah.
But for now, that's just exciting, and I'm excited to see that. And I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they made it at that retailer summit. That was a good thinking.
I agree. I think it was a really good one.
I agree.
Good one. Good call. Good call.
Yes. In addition to that, IDW has announced they're going to be launching a slew of Godzilla books set in their kind of own Godzilla universe.
Okay.
We're getting a bunch of books, including Godzilla 1. I believe there's another one called Godzilla Escape from the Dead Zone.
Okay.
And Starship Godzilla. All of which are their own kind of like very interesting, unique takes on the property.
Yes.
I'm myself kind of excited about Chris Gooch and Oliver No's Starship Godzilla concept. But not to be outdone, our old friends from the Stegman podcast, Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan from Kill Your Darlings, are working with Pablo Tunica to do Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone.
Way.
Thrilled to see those 2 working again on something really, really exciting. Congratulations to them. It's going to be a fantastic series, I have no doubt. And not to be outdone, Tim Seeley and Nicola Sismeshia are teaming up to make the Godzilla series. Sorry, I can't do it. So I just had to say whatever I could say to make that last name work. But you have a fantastic last name, and I'm sure I'll find out what it is at some point in my life. But yeah, new design for Godzilla.
What's the new suit look like? No.
Yeah, the new suit. Got chunky legs and a big green back. I'm down. I'm going to give this a try. You know what? I'm gonna jump into this universe and see how it goes. But it's ambitious and it's exciting, and I think that people are looking forward to it. I know retailers are down. I'm hopeful that people give it a try. So that's some fun news. And finally, Matt Fraction is going to be the official writer on the Batman series after Hattush comes out from Jeff Loeb and Jim Sale.
Wow. Okay.
Tim Sale. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. Tim Sale is long past.
Yeah.
Fantastic artist, but not here. Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are teaming up back in the Sale to do Hattush. I say that because they put the 2 where the O should be, which makes no sense. The 2 looks like an S. Anyway. Or the U. There's no O in Hush. I'm sorry. But
you want me to take over?
Yeah. Fraction is also teamed up with Jorge Jimenez to do this series. Actually some art not leaked. It was officially released.
Yeah. They dropped some art
from Jorge Jimenez about the new design for Batman. People are really excited about it. They're hailing it as like innovation for 2 reasons. One, a more purplish blue bat suit, and number 2, the bat emblem has changed. Bigger, more bold, more Superman-y. And
interesting. And his belt has pockets.
Yeah.
Got pouches and things.
Got more pouches and stuff. More pronounced belt.
More pronounced things, for sure.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you put this Batman suit up against another one like that was similarly toned and colored, I'm sure I would notice a difference.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Right, that's what Batman looks like.
That's what Batman looks like. I've seen Batman.
Yeah, for me.
But it looks great, and like it
does it good.
I'm not trying to diminish.
Yeah, I'm excited. I dig the emblem. I'm glad that Jimenez is doing some like heavy lifting to make this look different from the last 3 other runs that Jorge Jimenez has drawn on. There's a lot of artists out there, folks. And I think that Jorge Jimenez is a fantastic one. But also, wouldn't it be nice if any other artist was given a shot on this title?
Well,
that wasn't
and yet
reduced
some
to being a
people
fill-in artist.
Might be like, listen, I like the consistency.
I guess it's going to be tonally whiplash, but knock yourself out with it, I guess. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's I don't know.
Okay.
I would have tried somebody else.
Fair.
You know, yes. I like Jorge Jimenez. Keep him, you know, but put him on something else.
Okay.
That said, I'm sure it'll be a great looking book, and I'm sure Fraction has some innovative ideas. I'm not. I like Matt Fraction, but I'm not like a crazy Matt Fraction fan. So like, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, this is going to be the.
No, you're going to give it a try. You're going to give it a try. We'll see if it fits.
Yeah.
And try it on.
Exactly.
You're going to go in the fitting room.
Mm-hmm.
Give
it a try. The other thing that I wanted to mention at the top of the hour is I was really excited to see this. Somebody, an intrepid member of our comments, pointed this out from the last episode of Off the Rack that we did. We were talking about the frustrations of Amazing Spider-Man, which I am going to be talking about at the top of the hour because I don't want to dwell on it too much. It's not exactly my favorite book. And, you know, there's no good reason for it to be this bad. Which is kind of like the point of the name of the show right now.
Sure.
But before I get into that right now, we were talking a little bit about the you and I were talking on the show about how what's it called? We were talking about how there was a bit of a rug pull for this series where they were like, hey, Joe Kelly's doing this book. And then it turned out like Justina Ireland was going to be doing the lion's share of the series.
Yes.
And we were like, that's kind of disingenuous, don't you think? Like,
yes.
I mean, not to disparage Justina Ireland, and I'm sure that she's done some fantastic work before. Amazing Spider-Man is not her best foot forward, but you know, that being said. And people were like, there
was one person.
Well, there's a trailer. There's a trailer for this run. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Are you umming the chat?
You tell me who they were promoting as the creative team for the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Well, that says number 61, you see.
Right. Oh, yes. That's what I meant. What we meant was that only in Amazing Spider-Man 61 was the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man that was drawn by Ed McGuinness.
I think that's interesting. Because it's either like they changed it or they were literally doing that and they were pulling the rug out from underneath us.
Yeah. No, I think you were right. I think it's more what you said, where it was like, it was meant to be, but he had to focus on other things. So no.
Could be.
I read Amazing Spider-Man, and
are we talking about that first?
I guess we could. I wanted to like kind of transition.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to dwell on the negative.
No, that's fair.
But like, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Sounds great.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Black Panther?
Wow. Okay. Let's do that. Why not?
Yeah.
You want to hit share this tab instead. Love this for us. Okay, so this is Ultimate Black Panther, written by Brian Hill with art by Stefano Caselli.
Wow, same team.
Isn't it amazing?
So it can be done.
Yeah, I am.
At least 13 issues you could do with the same creative team. It's amazing.
That. I am definitely, in fact, saying that. This is a book that I've consistently said is very good, and that I like the pacing of it for sure. But I have like heard folk online saying that it just isn't doing it for them. That they expected it to be like
all action or mostly action.
Yeah, all the time. And like I felt like there was plenty of action in here, and I really liked a lot of the like political drama and kingly drama and supernatural drama.
Well, and when Hill was pitching the book, he was like, it's going to be like Dune.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if you've ever seen or read Dune.
Yes.
But it's not all action sequences. In fact, it builds to those.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like this, like as the issues have been going on, we've been getting more of that action that everyone's seeking. But I think that's just in terms of just the story structure that Hill's going for, and I think it's a very mature story structure, and I really appreciate it. Like, it's really well paced, and the well paced plot allows like. Okay, so when there's a reveal, it lends gravitas to the reveal because we took some time to get there.
Yes,
right?
And it's like those are the things that you remember the most. It's why people love Secret Wars and why everyone is like, oh, well, if you want to get into Fantastic Four, you got to read Hickman's Fantastic Four. First of all, no.
Yeah.
That is not how you get people into Fantastic Four. But it is a book that took its time and built up. And so when you get to moments that are people's favorite sequences in Fantastic Four history, it's because it was earned.
Yes.
You know, but like you got to give the writer some runway.
Yeah. Additionally, now listen, I don't think every story has to be written exactly the same way. And I don't think like there always has to be plots in which like there's like a billion things happening and characters like yes, I like when that happens to characters when it's a frantic moment. You know what I mean? But I really appreciate that in this book, like Hill is allowing the characters to like have something happen to them and let them actually react to it. And then I mean, like, think about how am I going to deal with this? Like, literally just be like, oh my gosh, that just happened. That is now part of my life and my history. And now I will react to those events going forward. Like, there's just a maturity to this book. And I really, really enjoyed it. I also appreciate the fact that like characters who we have met, we're 13 issues in on this, right? Like, the characters we've met at the beginning of this story are still staying within character.
Right.
Like Aurora is like talking to Killmonger. They're like laying in bed in Wakanda and she's like, we should leave. We could do so much better out there. Like, she's a free spirit and she wants to not be there. And he's like, no, we can use this to do better. Like we can use the strength that is here and do better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really cool. Cause both of these like versions of these characters lean into like our knowledge of those characters, but not make them that. You know what I mean? It's just like I infer stuff from that, but it may or may not be true. I don't know. Yeah, like just
a good book.
Really great
Still
book.
A consistent book.
Oh, also, there's like a thing about vibranium, right? And in which like Inan, the Sorcerer Supreme, calls forth like the consciousness or memory of the vibranium force.
Yes, I remember you talking about this.
Well, like she physically manifested and they have to fight it, and it's like not great, but they get through it. But like the vibranium theory immediately made me think of the stone tape theory, which I was like, that's kind of cool.
I'm not familiar.
So stone tape theory is like the idea of materials holding information from like emotional or traumatic events. It's like how like hauntings can happen. Yeah, okay. And it's like, I was like, that's really interesting that it's like, you know, the vibranium is carrying this. I'm like, all right, listen. I trust Hill to weave this into the story, and he already has, but like to really stick this landing. So looking forward to it. Art's super strong. It has been super strong. I think it's very consistent. Love the design for the characters. Yeah, all of it.
Nice. Well, I read Storm, as I am wont to do. I do enjoy this series quite a bit. From Murewa Ayodele and Lucas Wernick. This one completely like knocked me for a loop. I was surprised by what this book had in store.
Interesting.
It also has the One World Under Doom banner. You don't need it.
Okay.
Because Doom, she goes to Latveria. That was before One World Under Doom, but it also is still part of it. So I guess sure. But it also had like shades of New Gods, where it was about the living tribunal and eternity and like and oblivion and the eternal struggle and the origins of the universe. And it was a big, grand, epic book. It was the kind of epic that they tease with Storm.
Yeah.
But Storm is always just shy of, because Storm's not a god. She's a person. She's a mutant.
Yes.
You know, she was born with a specific change in her genetic structure that gives her the powers. Doesn't make her a god. The people's worship of her does, but like, you know, she's been on the X-Men long enough. It's time to dissuade yourself from that apprehension.
Yes.
But then we have this book that's full of what is, for lack of a better term, gods. But even they show deference to the one above all. But it's like there's some like Al Ewing-esque world building and galaxy building that's going on in this Storm
book.
Yeah,
okay.
And moreover, like Storm is a vessel that's chosen to kind of like be the embodiment of eternity, and it's like neat to see that in this Storm story,
right?
And it reminded me of this moment from like the X-Men animated series in '94 that I was watching in preparation for the DJ Cat show, and like we were talking about how like this, in the Phoenix Saga, at least in the context of the cartoon. There's a moment where like, Xavier's like, I need you to go to the shuttle. I need you to deal with whatever's up there. And Storm, you can go help them, but you can't go up there. And it just, for me, I was like, yeah, because Phoenix would have chosen you in a freaking hot second.
Yeah.
Like, that's why Storm can't go up there. I mean, like, not really. Obviously, it's because like, I don't even think Storm was there.
Right.
But I like the, I just, my own headcanon. I was like, oh yeah, Chuck doesn't know that Phoenix is up there and that she's going to choose Jean, but I love the idea that like Storm is always just one bad or good decision away from being selected as a vessel for a god,
right?
Because of how powerful she is and how accustomed she is to the title.
Yes,
and this book is like leading you down that path, and I was really impressed with the writing and the world building and the grandiosity of this book.
Mm-hmm.
It really was surprising for a story that seemed to be kind of more ground level.
That's excellent.
If you're curious, and I was like, I didn't know Marewa Ayodolade had this like in them.
Okay.
Not familiar with their work as far as I can collect this series, but yeah, they could do all kinds of crazy shit with this.
Love it.
And Ayodolade could do a lot of really cool stuff.
Love it.
That isn't Storm related, more God stuff. Maybe I trust them with the Marvel cosmology. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's always rare for me. So I'm excited about that. I also read Wonder Woman.
Very nice.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Wonder Woman from Tom King, Daniel Sampere. This is, if you were missing the cliffhanger from when there weren't absolute power tie-ins, well, we're back. And if you were missing the Sovereign's pretentious narration, well, hang on to your hat because it's back.
All right.
Essentially, Wonder Woman is facing Sergeant Steele. She faces off against the White House. Really strong, powerful imagery.
Yes.
I mean,
it
is Daniel Sampere's book. Tom is writing a really, really compelling story, but we're taking a back seat to like stuff happening. Stuff happens, but like Wonder Woman doesn't really encounter a lot of resistance outside of losing Steve Trevor. But like, she walks onto the White House steps, points into the window, and goes, "I'm coming."
Yeah.
And she is not deterred. And Grail is there to protect the Sovereign, but she's like, it's enough. I'm gonna go fight Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And they do, and it's awesome. Cheetah fights like other characters for Wonder Woman. The Wonder Girls, for lack of a better term, help to protect all the people that could be killed by the Sovereign by way of Sergeant Steele, by way of his minions. It's just a lot of layers, a lot of action, a lot of fun stuff. Great art, beautiful looking book.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for Wonder Woman to just be capable and kick ass, like if you're looking for, I don't know, not a terrible amount of tension, but still a compelling story because it's so well written and it's so expertly drawn, then I think you could do worse than Wonder Woman. So check that book out.
Okay.
If you aren't already.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
How about the question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right? Let's talk about the
question. Let's talk about the question all along the Watchtower number 4. This is, of course, of a 6-issue series based on the graphic at the back of the book, which was super helpful. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I like, it was great. It lays out like, hey, do you care about the Justice League Unlimited books? Like, here's what you read. These are monthly ones. These are limited series. I was like,
that's really helpful. Holy shit.
Thank you.
Wow.
Like, it was just a little map.
They should print a little card like that and give them retailers.
Just really, really, I literally was like, look at it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
Enter the Watchtower. All right. I know that's 5 issues. This is a monthly. Okay, good.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
great.
really helpful.
Thank you.
And maybe they need to whip up that because of how many people's confusion there was for the Absolute books.
It could be that. So this is written by Alex Seguera. And wait, is it? Yes. With art by Cyan Torvey and Raul Fernandez. I was like, how did I write this? I don't even know. So, okay. This issue, listen, we're issue 4 of like a mystery series. We have like 2 more left, so they still have to solve the problem here, right? But this is the part where it's like we get the dump. Like in most mystery plots, inevitably someone shows up and explains what's happening and how they figured it out, right? Yeah. And sometimes you're along the way and you are simultaneously figuring it out with them, and sometimes you legitimately need them to help you along, right? Yeah. In this one, we utilize like a villainous monologue combined with the question explaining it herself, so we get kind of fill all the pieces in. It's like, all right, yep, got it. We're doing that whole thing. Yeah. We reveal that like Cyborg Superman is going to be destroyed by the power that allowed him to return from the Phantom Zone, so he's going to just like channel it into the tower and destroy it itself. Okay. Like he's just like, yeah, all right. Yeah. Like just like a little chaotic, like chaotic evil. Here we go. Like, like I came back, and what allowed me to come back is now going to kill me, so I'm not going to kill all of you. Okay. And that seems motivated. I'm justified in my reasoning.
That sounds like Hank. To me.
I will say this issue seemed very frenetic.
And because they were like, oh shit, we have to end in 2 more issues.
I don't know, but it could also be intentional in order to like match Renee's personality and style. You know what I mean? She doesn't fully trust herself. Okay. And she didn't trust herself to take this job. And I think she feels like she's a little all over the place because she's like, yeah, they called me and I totally failed. So this feels like she's all over the place at all times.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, part of me thinks that is meant to just give you the energy that she's going through.
Oh, cool.
That said, occasionally there are things that are done at times seemingly just so it can happen versus like in the plot versus like it being motivated with the character's plans or in line with the character's plans. Yes. Occasionally, and not constantly, but there are a couple of things where I was just like, okay. All right, like that feels like you just needed that to happen.
Yeah, okay. Like, right. Which could also be because of like the short nature of the book.
Of course, but then there are other times where I'm like, I couldn't figure out why you did that, and now I see why you did that. Cool. Yeah. Admittedly, they do a lot of like Renee uses the power of her ability to talk to people to remind them of who they are, because a lot of folks are under the influence of Cyborg Superman right now, and so like she uses her knowledge of them in order to try to pull them out of it. Okay, all right. You know, and that works to varying degrees.
Sure.
But yeah, I like this book a lot. I like the direction that it's going in, and like honestly, for me, what I'm really enjoying is it's matching. What I don't love about it, I should say, is that it's like it seems to kind of be not what I thought we were going to get into. Yeah. Like I thought we were just going to get a mystery series. Yeah. But obviously we're reading a superhero book. They're all in the Watchtower. I don't know why I was thinking it wouldn't end up in a big superhero fight. Sure. But we have a big superhero fight. And it's interesting, you know?
Yeah, it's fun to watch, I'm sure. It's engaging.
Yeah. But like I really, those first couple of issues, I was like, wow, I'm enjoying this. I am looking forward to knowing more. I don't think I recognized at the time that it was going to be, or maybe I did. I'd have to go back and watch if I knew that this was like not an ongoing. Because if it was an ongoing, I feel like they would have let the mystery go on for a little longer than they did. But it kind of felt like they're like, all right, we got to wrap this up. Yeah. But yeah, I've gotten quite a bit of enjoyment in getting to know this character. Obviously, when to finish this out, I got 2 more issues to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she solves. I mean, obviously, you have this Herculean task on Renee's like behalf, where it's like she's dealing with several Kryptonian-based characters. You know what I mean?
She's a little over her pay grade.
Yeah, so she's gonna have to figure out how to deal with this. And seemingly now, like he pulls like I killed you 5 minutes ago moment.
No.
Where she's like, you're planning to destroy it. He's like, planning.
Right.
I already flipped that switch.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
okay. Fair enough.
So good stuff. Art's really fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see how she gets herself out of this one.
Oh yeah. I forgot there was another story that I wanted to share from the news. So I'm gonna do a little news break.
Oh, news break.
Marvel is doing a Marvel Premiere Collection line in 2025, following the Daredevil series, the Born Again books. They're doing a like those DC books that came out that were really successful, those little miniature DC books that are collections that are essential reading. Yeah, they're doing that at Marvel.
They're doing little ones?
They're doing these little collections. They did one for Daredevil. They're doing one for Civil War, for Old Man Logan, for Hawkeye.
Interesting.
And it's a great idea. I will not begrudge them taking these ideas. They did one for Black Panther, for Captain America, Winter Soldier, Fantastic Four. I'm like, okay, I would have picked a different Fantastic Four one, but whatever. to get people hyped for the movie. Sure. But yeah, I was like, this is a smart idea, and I wanted to give them their flowers, so to speak, to be like, yo, Marvel, good call, keep it up. That's a smart move. That's a good idea. So you want to get those books in people's hands and sell these series to people who wouldn't normally have access to them. So good idea. Moving on.
Okay. What do you got?
We also read New Gods, we did. And this book made me feel like a complete idiot. Like I fancy myself a writer a little bit, and I was like working on something myself, and I'm like, oh, I'll just throw it all in the garbage because this is so like adult and mature and interesting and advanced, and thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, and the reality is like it's just something different.
It's very different,
and it's so different that like I'm wondering if anybody's even like, I have not seen a lot of chatter.
I think people are probably reading it.
There's no doubt they're reading it, but like the chatter is quiet.
By the way, this is written by Ron Bay with art by Riccardo Federici and Evan Cagle,
and they are crushing it.
Yeah, like I can't decide whose art I like better.
Federici's. But I do love Cagle's work.
I think that I that's your opinion.
Yeah.
I definitely like, because Federici's art is the like older in the past stuff.
Yeah.
And Cagle's art is the present day stuff. But like Cagle's art is so dynamic.
It is. Yeah.
And like
there's a Superman moment in it. And when I say Superman, I mean like lowercase Superman, or a quote Superman moment.
Okay.
And it is so awesome. It like belongs as a poster. It's the last page. And it's just such a great image of a character you never get to see doing anything this like cool and fun in such a regularly scheduled program.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, way to go, man. Like that's some gorgeous stuff from Cagle. I mean, like Cagle's the selling point.
Yeah, Cagle's art for me reminds me of Kim Jung-gi. I probably said that incorrectly. Yeah. You've seen his art before, but it's just the level of detail. It makes me think of that. It's not the same whatsoever.
Sure.
But
it evokes that feel.
It definitely evokes that feel. No, I think they're both doing great work. For me, it comes down to
it's interrupting the show. I'm like, hello,
how are you? What's up with you? Art is amazing. There's just so much to wrap your head around.
There is. It takes a minute. You're gonna have to like pace yourself.
They're like, and regardless of the like the names for things, the places, the language that's used, the words that are occasionally used, that I'm like, do I know the meaning of that word? Can I infer it?
Absolutely, it's that.
There's just a ton going on, and then a lot of it sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, is this referencing something, or is this made up?
Right. Yeah. Like, are you informing something? Should I be more excited, or should I be more familiar with what I'm looking at?
Well, see, that's funny.
Can I guess where this is heading?
For me, I'm thinking about like, are we talking about like mythology characters? Like, should I check this out? Or is this like, oh, like, well, that's meant to like let you know that like maybe I'm going to infer something from this myth or this mythos.
Probably
it's a ton of deep lore, a lot of cosmic mythology.
Yes.
And I couldn't help it while reading this issue start to feel like this felt like an Eternals book, which is funny, of course, because of the New Gods Eternals connection.
Yes.
So it's like, I get it, but like there's just always something in my head about how the New Gods are often written or should be read when it comes to telling just a book about New Gods, not about Darkseid.
No.
Not about Mr. Miracle, but just New Gods in general. But this made me think more of like a Eternals book told through the lens of Vertigo.
Yes. Yeah. This is the kind of book where like they would have greenlit it in the like 90s, 2000s.
Yes.
But it would have been over there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like, if you enjoyed Gods from Hickman, this is a more flowery version of that.
Yes.
And not to its detriment at all. But it feels like stories in general, like the power
capital
of stories,
S story,
like stories are powering this plot.
Yeah. But they don't do that. It's not like Dark Knight's Metal, where it's like, they go to the library.
Oh, no. They're not like literally putting books into a machine and then like, oh, yay, now we can defeat the bad guy. No, I mean like just the like history and stories are powering this plot going forward. That said, every time we refer to this kid, I literally, because of pop culture, like the pop culture zeitgeist, I just keep thinking about Aang.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't not think of it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Right.
I know that's not what it is. I know it's not what it is at all, but I'm just like, okay, I have to just stop. But yeah, there's just a ton going on in it. I feel like this book, if you're into it at all, is infinitely, so far the last 3 issues have been infinitely rereadable, especially this issue with so much like
stuff.
Yeah, stuff that happens, like lore that's dropped and history that's dropped, where it's just like, okay, like I read it like one page like 4 times over. Like I was like, what?
I only read it the one time, but I would need to read it.
No, but like one of the pages, I was like, okay, because like I have this thing where in my head, if you show 3 characters on the page and then you write their names, in my head they go like bam, bam, bam. I look at them in the order, and then I'm incorrect about that, and then I'm like, wait, what? And then I gotta go back, and it's just the way my brain perceives that information. Where I'm just like, no, they should go in the order that they're standing in, and that's not what they're doing.
Fair, yeah, I think it's fair to assume.
But overall, it's great. Like it's difficult to tell who was like if there's a star to this book, or if more or less what it is that this book happens to be a book that allows the art and the story to shine. And I think that's probably just what it is.
Yeah, it's just working hand in hand with each other. So yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too.
We also read Ultimate Wolverine.
We sure did.
Ultimate Wolverine, of course, from the new Ultimate line. I believe it's written by Dennis Camp with art by Alessandro Cappuccio. No, I'm sorry.
It's written by Chris Condon with art by Alessandro Cappuccio.
I don't know why I want to keep giving this book to Camp. But yeah, Chris Condon and Alessandro Cappuccio.
Yeah.
This one is more or less just like giving you more backstory for the Winter Soldier, aka Wolverine, and it's seen more or less through the lens of Peter Rasputin and his kind of like stranglehold on the program and his desire to see it through and to test the metal, no pun intended or all puns intended, of this instrument of death that they have wielded.
Yes.
It's the art's really good. It looks really, really good.
So for me, like Cappuccio's art is phenomenal, but I knew that because I watched him like, kind of, for me, cut his teeth on Moon Knight. I'm sure he'd done much more before that.
Right.
Really, his art style so fits this book in terms of capturing sinister moments and like moments of action. Like he can do these like big, like beautiful things.
Yeah.
And like also do these like phenomenal like heavy or quiet moments.
Yes.
Like the snow sequences.
Oh, great.
Oh my God, the snow sequences. Freaking loved them. Loved his panel layouts there. Absolutely. I will say this issue held my attention more. Like issue 2 held my attention more than issue 1.
Yeah.
For me, it did.
Fair.
But it doesn't feel like a Wolverine book.
No, and I don't think it's not supposed to.
Okay, because
like, it's a Winter Soldier book.
Well, I was gonna say it feels like an everything else surrounding Wolverine book.
That's what this issue in particular.
Like, there's just like I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I do want to know, I guess, more about like the government that is surrounding how they're running things and the doctor and all. I'm like, all right, cool. There's a whole lot of things going on there, but it's really right now not about Wolverine, and I can't tell if that's just the direction this book's gonna be in. Like, to like make it that it's like, listen, Wolverine was called Weapon X for a reason because it was a weapon. He doesn't have a story. He's a tool. in every sense of the word. And I can't tell if that's where we're going or if what we're doing is we're laying this like groundwork for like, let's check out the world that Wolverine exists in.
Yes.
So that we can better understand him.
Right.
I don't know.
That could be. For now, it's more just like every time that Colossus in the Ultimate Universe or in any reality at this point is on screen, it's kind of like, well, who cares? Like, I'm just so checked out.
Really?
Because he's like, because it's evil Colossus or it's some kind of weird bastardization of Colossus. And I'm just like,
that seems to be, I'm telling you, I feel like there's someone over at Marvel who's like,
I hate this guy. I hate people like him. I'm going to spend 20 years just making people think he's a piece of shit. Nothing to dissuade me from this. Great art again. I think Condon has good, competent writing. It's just the story isn't holding my attention. I'm just not. I'm not gripped.
Okay.
The art is the saving grace for the series, though. There's nothing bad about Condon's prose. It's just not my cup of tea.
Fair.
Let's see here.
Let's talk about Power Fantasy real quick.
Yay,
Let's
okay,
just do it. Let's take a little indie trip. We got 2 indie trips today.
We do.
Just really quickly, we're not going to go into a deep one on this one because this is Power Fantasy #6, written by Kieran Gillen with art by Casper Wingard. This book is perfection. That could be my review, and that's absolutely fine. I just utter perfection. I like the fact that this issue, since like the last issue we read, obviously #5, kind of wrapped up for volume 1.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my mascara just flaked into my eye.
Oh,
It's
no.
like it's destroying me. It's fine. It's fine. We push through. We keep going. So like at the beginning of this issue, they kind of give you a little reminder about the characters. But it doesn't bog down the issue. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like, let's spend the whole time. It's just like, here's a little reminder.
Yeah.
It's done a really beautiful, beautiful graphic because Wingard's art is spectacular. But it's just like every issue just like peels back another part of this story, and I literally every time it happens, I'm like, peel another one. Dude, go.
Hey, give me more.
I don't care. I don't care if we never get to the center of this. Like I want to know more. I know Gillen in the back of this is like this issue had like a letters page, his version of a letters page where it's like send in questions and I'll answer them. Obviously he's like, we have a story for this. What we really love is like 30 to 50 issues. Like he's like, I'd love to have something between Once and Future and Wicked and Divine lengthwise. He's like, that's what I would love. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I'm looking for. Update on getting my volume 1. Got my volume 1, which meant I got 2 of them, and I gifted one to Ethan, and I can tell you that he started reading it and he really likes it. So if that means anything to you, this is like, so far Ethan approved.
That's right. It's Ethan's seal of approval. I read Batman and Superman World's Finest. This is continuing the arc from Mark Waid regarding their undersea adventure where they're dealing with the Floronic Man of all characters.
Wow.
This is written by Mark Waid with art by Adrian Gutierrez, and it looks great. Again, it's a shame we lost Dan Mora, but Dan Mora is doing fantastic stuff over at Superman. And the book looks really good. Like, it's fantastically drawn, spectacular sequences that are evoking that kind of like contemporary style that Mora is known for. So good for Gutierrez for a good choice for Gutierrez to transition to this artist.
Yeah.
Fantastic depictions of the Floronic Man. He's figured out how to like jump bodies and create himself using flora from beneath the sea. And just really good. Like, it's Batman and Superman under the water. Superman's dealing with the fact that like it's in the past, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's still got feelings for Laurie, his mermaid ex-girlfriend, who's married, and maybe he might rekindle something anyway. And Batman is dealing with the Floronic Man, which is an interesting pairing, which I never thought I'd see. Just cool. It's cool. High flying superheroics. Aquaman and Mera are dealing with like the fickleness of the Atlanteans, and it's like they're constantly besieged. Like, I feel bad. Like, they're always like, one bad day away from being like dethroned. Like there's a plague that's being that's permeating throughout Atlantis, or whatever the hell the name of the city is, and it's the Floronic Man's fault. And they're like, boo, Aquaman, it's because of your association with the service world that we're dealing with this in the first place.
Sure.
And Aquaman and Mera kind of like, geez, like, we got to deal with this right now, otherwise they might like call for our heads. And I'm like, one bad thing happens and you people are ready to throw these people to the sharks, not the wolves. But yeah, good stuff. It's fun. It's got plenty of action. Obviously, there's an allusion to Swamp Thing. Yeah, we're gonna get a Swamp Thing Floronic Man fight, and it's cool and it's fun, and I dig it. Wade is an expert at this point. Knows these characters like the back of his hand, and is kind of like following through with the through line of this series, which is like, look at Batman and Superman, but here are some fun other characters you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah.
And of course, Robin is his gateway character that like allows Wade to find the mirth that he's looking for. But yeah, I dig this series. It is a consistent, good book that is always worth picking up, but I can imagine people writing off, which is why I'm like quick to say, hey, wait, don't forget, this is a really good series, and you should keep reading it.
Yeah.
What do you got?
You want to talk a little bit about X-Force?
Yeah, we should talk about X-Force because
for a number of reasons.
If you folks are not familiar with X-Force, it is one of, if not the best, X book on the shelves right now from the world of X-Men. Sadly, it is also this is not the penultimate a word we like to say. It is getting to be the penultimate issue of
next
the series.
issue is the penultimate.
That's right. We're getting to, unfortunately, 10 issues of X-Force before it will be unceremoniously axed. And what a shame, because this was the only X-Men book I was reading outside of Storm.
Yep.
And it will be the only X-Men book that I have read from this run.
I really hate the fact that this is going away. I feel like the teams that had worked on this, Jeff Thorne, Marcus Toe, did a phenomenal job on this book. I really enjoyed it, and I will continue to enjoy it.
Yes,
but
as long as we're allowed.
Yeah, like I think that the entire team should be proud of this book. Yes. I think they gave us a great adventure with characters who were, allowed to just, solve like mysteries and fight like enemies, but also not have to worry about like, oh no, like, we have to go deal with like the world or this or that. Like they were just like, all right, we're doing our thing. Mm-hmm. And, Krakoa happened and here we go.
Yeah,
and,
and upholding that kind of like spirit.
The spirit of it. So that sucks quite a bit. But this issue is great. It does have an evil Colossus in it. But as Tank notes, that it's not the
Piotr Mastroianni that I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
exactly. I'm like, all right, cool. We get away with doing it.
Yeah.
We do have La Diablo has been known to, use magics to do whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Kind of hoping we'd be able to get more of this character. And I'm sure we will in the next 2 issues. But I feel like that's
not enough.
I feel like Thorne had more to say.
Yeah.
We'll see how issue 10 wraps up, but I feel like I don't know why this didn't do well. I thought it was well done.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the problem also comes with like when that a book is going to be canceled, pre-order stop and people write it off. And so unfortunately, like, Marvel and comic books in general use sales data to make decisions and prognostications about like what books to to prop up and market and whatnot. And it's a shame because, like, people now are going to go, oh, X-Force, that's the dead book that I don't like.
No, you got to finish it off. Finish strong.
Yeah, so please make sure if you are still reading this book, you don't have to cancel the pre-order. Just keep it on until issue 10.
Yeah.
But it's a good series, and it's a shame that it's coming to an end seemingly prematurely.
Yes.
But we want to applaud the creative team
100%.
that also worked the entire time on this series.
Yeah.
So, flowers for that as well. But you should be proud of your series, and we hope you are. I'm sure you are. There's no doubt you are. But, congratulations to a really, really good book. Our favorite X book on
absolutely.
the shelves.
Absolutely. And like this issue was just
as consistently great as the others.
And honestly, like I wanted more Forge and Sage and this team and to get to know them. And it makes me sad there's only 2 more. But you know what? Like, freaking loved it. I highly recommend you go check it out. If you were like lukewarm on X-Men post Krakoa, this for me was like the perfect like book to be like, you know what? Like I said, I want to keep my toe in the water of X-Men. This is where it is. And now I feel like I'm like, Marvel just told me it was okay to stop reading X books for good, I guess, by canceling this, because they're just telling me the thing I liked is not something they want to produce. But like, honestly, I think that's a mistake on their part.
I agree.
So
completely.
Well we will definitely be covering issue 9 and 10 as they come out. That's too.
Right. That's right.
It was not just X-Force. There were others. There are others that are supposedly on the chopping block.
There were 3, I think, at least.
I feel like it's canceled. X Factor.
Yes, X Factor got canceled.
And Nyx?
Yeah.
Or NYX?
And NYX got canceled,
Yeah.
We also read Aliens versus Avengers #3. That's right, folks. It came out. This is the penultimate issue of Aliens versus Avengers.
Is it really? I guess that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Hickman, Ribic, team from Secret Wars. How could you go wrong? This issue feels like it might have been, it ended prematurely. I don't know. It read really fast and then it just kind of stops. And I was like, okay, maybe you wanted like more, maybe. I don't know what the
this
thing
to
was.
me feels like, because think about it. If you're reading it as a whole, this is where
That's how
it'd be
you
like, oh my God, the action's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. The survivors have abandoned Captain America. They go to Mars because they have to, because they sustain damages leaving the Earth. They go to Mars to appeal to the X-Men / mutants for assistance because, as far as Hickman's concerned, all that still happened. And what they find is a desolate, empty wasteland that has been completely usurped by Mr. Sinister and himself. And yeah, of course, Mr. Sinister would find the xenomorph to be a perfect creature and a perfect organism and to fall in love with it. And, we get the trademark Hickman, Gillen, Mr. Sinister's slapstick silliness that is inherent in the character and is definitely a fan favorite.
Yes.
It's gonna be memed to death. The sequence of Mr. Sinister shooting people in the face with facehugger guns. And he even says it. But we see the heroes kind of like team up with a few characters that are like, oh, hey, Wolverine. All right.
Yeah.
And then we just go, oh, yeah. And the characters we were with, some of them died. And they die off screen. We don't see what happens with that. Like Iron Man.
Well, we did see. We
see what happens to him.
Yeah.
We don't see how.
No.
We know why or how. But yeah, things are going bad. All of humanity, the survivors they brought, they're all face hugged by Sinister. Maybe Spider-Man died. Probably not, though.
Probably not. I feel like there's something else going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, great art. But when you have a Ribic book, there are going to be some wonky faces. And this one had the wonkiest that I've ever seen in a Ribic book. Not to say that it's wrong or bad, just
really, you felt like this one had the no. I've seen plenty of that, and you just have to get over it.
You just have to get over it
because then you turn the page and you see something spectacular. I think I know what you're talking about because I turned the page and I was like,
"Whoa!
Oh my god!"
Yeah, no, that's exactly
so good.
Yeah.
I actually found this issue to be gripping. I thought it was funny because you were like, "You're gonna love this." And I'm reading it. All of a sudden, I get to the Sinister part, and I was like, oh, I do. I do love it.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate the fact that Hickman's using mutants, Mars, and Sinister. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This book continues to shock me 100%. Yep. And I thought for some reason, Tony's what happened to him, his end reveal, in a sense, that was really rough. I don't know why. Rough. That was in an emotional sense, not in a bad art sense, but in I was like, oh, listen, you see, comic books are not the a shocking place to see character death before. But that I was it was shockingly real and very sad.
It was sad.
Yeah. This is a really good book.
Yeah, I agree. Loved it. Just a great series.
Yes.
Sad to see it go.
Yes.
So yeah, speaking of indie books.
Yeah, let's do it. Let this one be a devil.
A true weird story.
By James Tynion IV and Steve Fox with art by Piotr Kowalski. Now, cut to Tiffany scrolling through Comixology, buying her books, and seeing this phrase, let this one be a devil. And if you know, then you know.
Right.
Because if you're from New Jersey, more than likely, you know exactly what this book is about. And that's what it's about. This book's about the Jersey Devil.
Yay.
So obviously this is 10 out of 10 book of the week. I loved this so much. And not just because it was about New Jersey. That helped.
I'm sorry.
But let's I opened this up. The art's amazing. It fits perfectly for the time because this takes place in the early 1900s. But we do get the lore. We get Mrs. Leeds. We get Mother Leeds. Had 12 kids. 13th one, the birth is not going well, and as it is being born, she curses it. Let this one be a devil.
Yes,
and it is, and this is depicted really, really well. We're leaning into the mythos entirely about the Jersey Devil. We are in the Pine Barrens. We're also getting characters and story that is surrounding. It's here's the story that's going on about this family, and the dad worked in the factory. He died early 1900s. Youngest son is going to take his job. Oldest son took to school, did really well, and he's an editor, but he doesn't really fit in with his family anymore because he's an educated man. So you got this story going on, and then the Jersey Devil shows up, and I'm like, So yeah, freaking so good,
right?
So good, so thrilled. Can't wait to read more of this. Enjoyed the backup as well. There's a little backup in here, along with the true weird story. It's all black and white, done really, really well, though. It's that black and white influenced by manga in a sense, where they're using all sorts of gray tones and all that.
Sure.
But yes, guys, if you like cryptids at all, go pick this up. I bought this digitally. I am buying it physically as well as soon as possible. Because this is right up my alley. And it's not just because it's the Jersey Devil, but it kind of is.
Right, of course.
But it legitimately was excellent.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I know you were very excited.
I was like, I literally was like, okay, here we go. This is the last book I read too. I was like the treat. It was my treat. I was like, I did all my work, and then it was time for a treat.
So yeah, you also checked out the Zatanna series.
I did. I checked out the new Zatanna series, Zatanna #1. This is part of the All In initiative. It's by Jamal Campbell all the way.
Entirely by Jamal Campbell.
And drawn. Is very much a high flying adventure for Zatanna.
Mm-hmm.
We, obviously just had Zatanna bringing down the house.
Yes.
It's not quite like that. Very different feel. More of a classic looking Zatanna. A little more established Zatanna, it feels like. But listen, a lot of cool stuff happens in this book, but we are talking about Jamal Campbell, and I don't want to diminish his writing abilities, but we are talking about Jamal Campbell here.
So it's going to be spectacular.
The rest of this review for this book will be about the art, because damn, this book looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the kind of book you want to live in. Pretty. Like, oh my gosh.
That's a cover quote. You can have that.
I mean, again, this book's doing fun stuff, but like, just like, Z looks exactly like you imagine she is meant to look like. The world is beautiful and fleshed out, and it's fun and high flying, and like, when magic happens, it's really colorful and beautiful and just so much. And then on top of it all, they use this like device in which like there are movie posters, and like this ghost creates the worlds within them that come to life. She's got to save people. We have this one page, and it's just these movie posters, and they're just all spectacular. They're all spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, yes. It's just so good looking.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
Can't get enough.
I can't get enough of this book. I want to eat it. I want to consume it so it becomes one with me.
That's fair.
Yeah, like, I am looking forward to where the rest of this series goes. But the story is good. Is a good story. It is absolutely a good story.
The star.
Is
the art. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, moving right along. You also read Doom Academy.
I did also read Doom Academy.
Now, we've been talking about how you loved Strange Academy.
Love Strange Academy.
Different team.
Totally different team. Completely different team. It was written by Mackenzie Cadenhead with art by Pascal Ferry.
Oh no! Because Pascal Ferry did the Doctor Strange series that you actually quite enjoyed.
I love that series. It was a good series. Good series. Now, my favorite.
And you also you don't
Doctor
love
Strange series.
Ferry.
I don't. Ferry's art is subjectively speaking completely subjective. It's just not my thing that I gravitate towards.
But a good pick. I mean, like, if I were greenlighting Doom books about him being Sorcerer Supreme, and there was a Doctor Strange-esque book coming out, I'd pick the guy who did the book we canceled.
100%. So it's like, listen, like, obviously there's Strange Academy. Since he's Sorcerer Supreme, there's a Doom Academy. So let's go is basically kind of what happens.
Let's go.
We move it into Latveria.
Oh,
like, the Doom Academy is in Latveria. I will say this issue, I was not immediately into it, but by the end of it, I was in.
Oh, wow.
It entirely focuses on Zoe, which I think is a great call. Zoe was in Strange Academy. She is like the zombie girl. Really great choice. I feel like there's a lot you can do with her.
Sure.
I appreciate the fact that, like, okay, so everybody goes to Doom Academy, right? And obviously it's Dr. Doom, and it's run by, like, it's like, I'm Doom, right? What have you.
Yeah.
But all the students right now are like really digging it.
Oh no.
For the most part, because they really like the structure.
Oh, sure.
I love the idea of students
kids need
secretly
structure.
Like wanting structure.
Yeah, they need the rigor.
Just
That's funny.
Literally like,
look, Doom is a despot and a monster and a tyrant, but he knows
how to run a school, apparently.
He's a smart guy. You can't deny that.
I was like, that's really funny to me. So there's a new character, Scoop.
Okay.
Scoop, it runs the school newspaper. He's this little...
So he's the snapper car of Doom Academy.
He's a little pale, redheaded, freckle-faced boy.
Oh, he's Jimmy Olsen. Okay.
I'm like, I can't tell if that is a, like, really cute homage or it's too on the nose, or it's a perfect red herring. I can't tell.
I mean, it's literally
too much of a people pleaser, that one for sure. It's really interesting to me for right now to see certain magic users like Voodoo and Zelma completely fall in line and just be like, yep, I mean, Doom Sorcerer Supreme, so we're moving a Latveria and we're going to keep the school going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we're going to see fallout from that or we're like, there's no time for that.
Right.
Just understand the fact that like the teachers are more interested in keeping the educational process going.
Right.
So maybe that just means total commitment. Zelma's also like in love with Doom's library.
Oh, sure.
She's like, oh my gosh.
Sure,
Also they keep using these like spells of silence so that Doom can't hear you. I'm like, okay, because there's like all these posters everywhere of like Doom looking Doom's and watching. Yeah. But I'm like, there's no way that's working.
No. He's definitely listening. Yeah. He was always listening.
Overall, I mean, like, if you liked Strange Academy, you'll probably enjoy this. It is directly related. They mentioned Emily, they mentioned all of it. So it's like, I'd say give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's going to look very different. It's going to look very, very different. But a lot of the spirit is still there.
Okay, cool. That sounds nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's it as far as everything else is concerned. Now we can talk about the elephant in the room.
Is it? Yep. Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yes, then?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
There's a lot of books this week.
There was a lot of books, but we still managed to keep it within an hour. Amazing Spider-Man 68 from Justina Ireland and Andrea Braccardo. This is the issue where I was like, I finished reading it and I went like, I think Tiffany's going to understand what I'm talking about. Like, where because it's like you usually give people the benefit of the doubt. When it comes to Spider-Man, I'm incapable of doing so. But I was like, this is like even where you and I meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Where it was like, because my issue originally, where he's got the sleepy eyes. He's like, I'm just so sad. And I'm like, really, at this point, this is what makes you lose your cool. Like, this is where you lose your constitution at this point, like for real. And you were like, well, if you're a new reader, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And like, all that stuff. Then we get to this issue where all the things, all our speculation, all of our concepts, everything that we were like wondering about with this series come to a head.
Yes.
What do we do with the Reeds? What do we do about his depression / nihilism?
Yes.
What do we do about all this, that, and the other thing? Like, yeah, these are this book answers those questions, and it's not written by Joe Kelly, and it's and again, like, and you saw a thing recently where it was like, Justina Ireland has an audience,
yes,
and fans,
yes.
And this is not the best display of her work, but it's not her fault necessarily that this book is not working.
Yes, yes.
So
the rest of my review of this is just going to be going
the word yes. So Aunt May and like a bunch of her friends at Feast, whose names I don't know and don't care about, die.
It's Shay and it's Shay and
yep.
Robbie. Is it Robbie?
No, I think it's Randy.
Randy.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all die, and
which is like, okay, so hang on. What's really frustrating about that is how last issue they spent so much time yelling about how they had to go inside, but they just wouldn't go inside. And I'm just like,
but we need them to do this. So they die, and he's like, "What? Wait, but that's for real though." And I'm triumphantly Spider-Man again. I'm like, "Good, get out of here!" Like, if I cared, I would have had a stronger reaction. But I just went like, I'm Peter Parker now. I'm like, I hate Mondays. I'm just like, this is so lame. And it's just at this point, the book has become a shame. Like, it's a shame that it looks like this.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it has evoked this feeling. Like, you have really just broken the title at this point. Now, obviously, any book, I mean, literally, the next issue could be like, whoa! All they have to do is treat this like it's one of the top selling books of their lineup.
I concur. So I've been kind of like in the middle of this, but this issue for me hit in a different way than what you're saying. So like, this is where you're talking about us meeting in the middle, but it's for different reasons, right? Because like literally I was like, I'm definitely more torn on this issue than I normally would be. Because it's like I like seeing characters like Spider-Man or like Batman, for example, have to deal with like magic stuff. I love them being faced with that, right? But the more I read this story, the more I recognize that this is not a Spider-Man story. This is a Doctor Strange story. Right. And what's frustrating to me is at this point in this story, in this issue, and honestly many others, but in this issue in particular, there are no other magical characters that show up. That's right. And that for me, I can't abide. Like Doc isn't there. I saw Doom on the cover for the next one or whatever one. Like Doom's not there. There's no other magical characters that have stepped up and been like, excuse me, I feel like this is not what's supposed to be happening. I feel like someone should show up.
X-Men.
But
because we're pushing X-Men.
But like, so like in terms of like magical books, like the whole story overall feels a better fit for not Spider-Man.
Right. Like you could do the whole thing without like replace Spider-Man with Doctor Strange, and it's actually kind of engaging.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, like I just can't. Like,
so Aunt May and everybody die, and so he's like, give him the reeds, and now I'll die, and then he does, and like everything that they've been building.
Yeah.
They go, here's that thing we were building, and it's over.
Yeah, but we already.
And here's that thing we're building, and it's over now.
We already knew it, right? So like, my hope is that this is a red herring.
Yeah.
I know it's not.
No.
But like my hope would be that they were like, you knew that this was going to happen. That's not actually the twist. The twist is going to be something else. But like this whole what is it called? The Rot? It's not called The Rot. I was watching something about Elden Ring, so I keep thinking it's The Rot. The stuff that the guy's like that, he's got on him. You know what I mean? It's like infecting people, whatever it is.
Sure, yeah. Oh yeah.
Whatever this made up thing is that it is. It just like feels like a non-twist.
Yeah.
And like if it were a more
The Blight. Thank you.
The Blight, thank you. That's like The Rot.
It is, yeah.
It's all Trisha's fault. Thank you. Just get Trisha in here. That's a callback to Mike playing Elden Ring. But it feels like if this were a magically inclined book, The Blight would have more of a meaning. But because it's a Spider-Man book, we don't have time for it to have
matter.
Meaning.
We got to focus on the characters.
So like, it actually doesn't really make any sense to do it in a way. Yeah. So like, additionally, I couldn't help but feel like Spidey's voice in this was like a little too like Stan Lee, but without it actually being grandiose. Like he says things where I'm like my emotions, like it's just Troy Barnesing.
Yeah, no,
my emotions,
right? And it's like that would be one thing if like he's still a nihilist, but he's like, oh no, I have to pretend to care. But that's like a thing that's too dark and it's too like weird for what this is about.
So like it's rough because there was some interesting stuff for me, like when they were dealing with death, and now it just feels like they're just trying to get this to be over.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like,
well, then why did you bother?
Why did we do this then?
Yeah.
Other than because you wanted to make, how much was this book? Like $4.99 from a lot of people.
Yeah. That's why we publish this book at all.
Right. And I understand it's a business, and that's why people pay, like charge money for things, is because you like to make money from them. But like sometimes you do that on top of doing something that isn't creatively bankrupt. Right. And I'm not saying that this is, because there were too many nuggets along the way for me
that were
like,
satisfying.
That were like, I was like, oh, there's like something there.
Yes.
But it seems like you've thrown that all away.
Yeah.
And I'm truly disappointed by that.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. Also, I felt like we're talking back to the Reeds thing. I just want to go back to that really, really quickly because, like, to me, we all knew that was coming.
Yeah.
We all knew that was coming. And if you're not going to do something else on top of it, which we may not, then you completely wasted that reveal. It didn't feel satisfying whatsoever.
No,
like it was entirely like Spidey would do that.
Yeah,
where it was just like, I don't care, just use them.
Yeah,
like, absolutely. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oops. Yeah,
but like that felt entirely Spidey, and yet completely did not satisfy me.
Absolutely.
Whatsoever.
No.
And like that was rough.
Yeah.
For me. But yeah, like it, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a shame.
It is just a shame.
Yeah. And if anybody's curious as to like why we review a book that isn't terribly good, and not just not read it, it's because this is my job, and I like this series, and I like want it to be good. So you can think about that for a little while. We're a review company, but yeah. So 8 deaths, meh. But actually, I think that speaking of the last hour's worth of show, they're overwhelmingly positive. A lot of good books out there, so you're okay as far as Spider-Man's concerned. So I guess it's time to think about the book of the week. In my case, I have a real problem here because there's a lot of books that are fantastic that I want to pick. Would it be Storm, this book that surprised the hell out of me? Would it be AVA, a book that I never thought possible? Is it New Gods, a book that knocked me off my feet? Should X-Force finally get its due? I think we actually did one time give X-Force.
It did. It absolutely did. No, it did. I've given X-Force it.
But
and if I haven't, it has my heart. But I have. Yeah. I believe I have.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's, I think I want to give it to Aliens versus Avengers because it's just such a miracle of a book. Like,
yes.
It shouldn't exist. No one should be, like, I can't believe they're still making this book or that they ever got through to make this. And the creative team involved. Yeah. So I'll give it to AVA.
Okay. That's fair. I have an impossible challenge.
It's so impossible.
This is like not fair. New Gods was spectacular. Yep. Power Fantasy is just powering through my heart. Mm-hmm. It's doing such a great job. I actually Doom Academy won me over this week for sure. So it really comes down to 2 other books though.
Yeah.
One of them is only my favorite book of the week, topping the other one. It's not actually going to be it, but Let This One Be a Devil obviously gets super extra points for being based on the Jersey Devil, and also being not there's too many horror books out there where it's just maybe the art isn't top tier or the writing isn't great, but it's it was great writing. The art was really well matched to the story, and it's about the Jersey Devil. But then Zatanna #1 came out.
Yeah.
And that art is I couldn't even explain to you in words how good it is. So I think it's going to be Zatanna #1, even though it really should be Let This One Be a Devil.
Congratulations.
Just put the other one in too. It's both of them this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a twofer.
All right.
I mean, but also this.
Yeah.
Just yes. Look at this cover. Come on.
Yeah. So jumping into the super chats today. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Why don't you kick it off?
Oh, me? My goodness. Kettler will defend for treat saying, I loved What If Disney Team was Fantastic Four?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I just realized that they even did the Sue Storm runs out on a friend for no reason bit. These books are funny.
Oh, that's cool. Based on the nature of this book, I would never have given it a
That's
chance.
fair. Oh, hey, by the way, really quickly, I did check out a little of, not really, I did a practice with Johnny and The Thing in Marvel Rivals,
which you can check out on youtube.com at ComicPop Plays.
That's right. The Thing has a trench coat costume.
Good.
It's with the the suit and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he's got a great voice. And he feels really heavy.
And
he calls Susan Susie.
Yeah, of course.
I love it.
Appreciate Venkatesh. RIP Two-Face Solo, you will be sorely missed. Yes. I thought that was supposed to be a miniseries anyway, but it was ended. So yeah.
Shadow Anderson saying, got paid today, so here you go.
You,
as a Nightwing and Daredevil fan, I'd love to see them meet in the new crossovers.
Yeah, it's funny. Vasco Georgiev noticed that people, that they made this announcement, and so he posted all those covers that he did for all those series on, I think it was Twitter.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was the thing I want to see, because I want to see a Batman Spider-Man team up, but people are like, yeah, but Nightwing and Spider-Man, and I'm like, yes. Miles and Nightwing, and he did that, and I was like, that's something I'd like to see.
Okay.
Matt Fisher says, I feel like we missed an issue. Peter just goes from Blair to oh no, Aunt May. I know,
even with those half issues.
Yeah, well, and the next issue we're getting is a Dot Dead.
I know,
which can dot bite me.
Alex Sanchez says, I wonder if Hickman's Imperial announcement means he's essentially done with architecting the Ultimate Universe. They make it seem like Imperial is a line-wide initiative like Hox Pox. Be sad if true.
I think that it's going to be like an event. And yes, I'm almost certain that he's going to hand everything to Dennis Camp. Matthew Terlaga, have you heard the Anna announcement about Marvel bringing Gwen Stacy back?
The announcement.
I'm sorry. Making her a mutant and making her a villain. She's going to be Dark Gwenpool. We clearly do live in the darkest timeline. Yeah, I saw something to that effect. I said it was really stupid, and people agreed. Like,
I don't understand what's going on in the House of Spider-Man.
No, it's like they hate the character or the audience. I'm not sure which. And it was frustrating as the audience seems to be like, pee on me, because they're like, well, it's still the #1 book, so it always sells. Hayden Hamilton
says, who would you have write Spider-Man or be on art?
That's a good question. There's tons of amazing artists out there and writers, and I feel like Dan Moore would be a great pick for Spider-Man at this point. Though Pepe Larraz is a good choice as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Dan Moore is the one where it's like, get people excited, get people talking.
Yeah, that's fair.
As far as writing, I mean, any number of writers are fantastic. If I were the editor, I would let Chip Zdarsky do it because he knows what he's doing. And but like, not to be outdone, I mean, I feel like Joshua Williamson would do a fantastic job in Spider-Man.
Oh, very nice. That's you.
Little Lions Everywhere says, hey, not sure why, but I've always liked the idea of Nightwing meeting Spider-Man. Hope you get some really good art out of these one-shots. Well, we're only getting the 2. We're getting 2 books. I have to imagine the art will be spectacular. Hopefully no one from the Spider Office is editing those books.
Auto Johnny, did you hear about the new Starfire animated series, My Adventures with Green Lantern and Superworks?
Yes, I heard about all those things. They seem like they are not going to be for me, but good for them. Josh Rowland, at this point, I think Jimenez just wants to do Batman. I dropped the book after Chip ended his run, but I'll check out this new run with Fraction. All right. Yeah.
Rishi Venkatesh saying, you heard about the Miles Ultimate crossover?
Yes, there's a big Ultimate crossover with Miles going to the Ultimate Universe, but this new Ultimate Universe, and it's written by Dennis Camp, of all people. Could you believe it? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stick around for as long as the people who are writing the books I like
in
that
too.
universe,
I'm
and then I will probably bail.
Yeah, I'm going to bail. Hayden Hamilton says, do you have a favorite episode of Back Issues? Why? I mean, I like so many, they're all my children. I love them all equally.
That's not true. There has to be one that you like better.
I'm very pleased with how the Fantastic Four episode came out, the most recent one.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
That's my
I like the Sailor Moon one.
That's a fantastic
because
episode.
we built a whole set.
Yeah, we built a set.
We're actually sitting in where the set used to be.
Yeah. We that's a great set, great episode, great hosting. I would have done a few things differently, technically wise, but
okay.
Yeah, I'd love to do that again. That'd be great. Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas says, until Amazing Spider-Man gets better, renew your vows is my headcanon. Also, happy late birthday, Ben, and congrats, Sal, on the new Terminator comic.
Thanks. Yeah, it's almost over. The last issue was supposed to come out a week ago and might come out May 12th or March 5th or 12th. Nobody knows.
Dang.
Hulkzilla, speaking of Tom King's Wonder Woman, I immediately bought the first 2 volumes shortly after watching the back issues episode covering it. Worth the purchase. Nice. That's great. I'm glad you enjoy it. I should also point out, by the way, I did do a backup for Terminator. After issue 5, I'm off the book.
Yeah.
The book is going to continue. Declan Shalvey is going to continue to write it. But I am no longer contributing to this Terminator series after issue 5.
That's right.
If you are only buying it for me, now's the time to stop buying it.
Well, after 5.
After 5.
Noah S. says, with the theory that someone will die in the Ultimate Spidey book and the release pages for the new issue, I'm really starting to think it's going to be Peter or Richard. What are y'all's thoughts?
I don't think about it. I don't think about that book.
I actually don't either.
I try very hard not to think about that.
But I appreciate the comment anyway. But like that book, I'm just kind of like letting it happen.
Yep, that's right.
Let it happen.
That's right. Rishi Venkatesh, I liked some of Tom's work in the past. They're famously hit or miss, but I don't love his Wonder Woman still waiting for a run as much as Rucka's. It's night and day.
That's very
Tom's
fair.
Completely different.
But that's so funny because it's like, for me, I also really enjoyed like what I read of Rucka's. And it's just like, it's mythology versus not mythology. And that's what it comes down.
What's his name?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm
Azzarello.
Sorry. Thank you. I'm thinking of Azzarello's.
Yeah. Rucka's book is good.
Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah. Alexandre Debon Brassard says, thanks, Sal and Tiff, for reminding me to read question psyched for the Gwenpool, but miffed Marvel learned leaned on resurrecting Gwen instead of new Gwenpool series. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, just don't buy it.
I just feel like the entire, maybe it's just like the Spidey office is just like, we just get you mad and then you buy it. I mean, like, you're just gonna buy it.
Yeah,
you want to know, don't you? You're just gonna buy
it.
Well, because like not enough like people want to know.
Yeah,
just don't know.
Yeah.
Drew Markham saying thank you guys for the education, laughs, and perfectly timed Back to the Future references. Thinking about getting into Busick's Superman. Good idea?
Yeah, Busick's a great choice. Zilly Goes says, I've been doing my own weekly haul reviews and spotlights on creators I appreciate. Do you have any pointers for someone who wants to do a better job at being critical of comics? Appreciate constructive criticism. Just be honest and don't think about what they want. Just think about what you want to say.
Cash Money in the Bank saying, did y'all see they're shutting down the Dark Horse digital comic store? Stopped sales today. Apps stop working in a month. Website in a year. Access to all books purchased are going away. That
sucks. And it's also the nature of digital comics. That's digital purchases.
Which is why I wish they wouldn't make them so expensive. I'm just renting them.
Danby 900, a compromise must have been made where whoever wanted Beast back properly had to let Colossus go to the dark side. I don't like that they're doing with Colossus. Just makes me miss Astonishing X-Men. It's a good book.
There must be one X-Men who is like
one beloved X-Man who is put through the ringer and made a douche.
Yeah, that's right. Nightcrawler, we're coming for you next.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Fisher says the 8 deaths has been going on 8 issues too long.
That's fair. Dex Baker, I'm walking into a movie now, so I gotta go. But if you share your Cap 4 review later, what are your chances for a live show for it? I don't know. We'll see, though.
Girk Pectus saying, are you excited about the Gunn DC Deathstroke Bane movie announced? I think Gunn works best with morally great characters, so I am excited.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's all about. Gunn wants to make a Bane and Deathstroke crossover movie. What?
Okay.
Why those two? What do they have to do with each other?
Reasons.
What a weird idea. Danby900 says, I'm sure they will correct it for the trade, but it was weird how Wolverine's beard was inconsistently colored in the issue. The faces were wonky. Yeah, I didn't notice, but that's fair. It is wonky.
Rishi Venkatesh saying, that Zatanna page at the DC Tarot, though. Yeah, really good. Really, really good. And wondering if that's going to mean anything or was just a bit of fun.
Yeah. Matt Fisher, when are we getting Tiffany's Super Heavy or Sal's JLA World War III review? Those episodes of back issues will happen sooner than later, but probably not very soon. We'll see. It's still things we got to get to.
Oh, Dan V900 saying, with the new announcements, I never thought we would get a Starfire or Jessica Cruz animated series before a Wonder Woman animated series. Just odd. The Wonder Woman video game is now years away too and in trouble. Yeah, I like shock. That was like, they shouldn't have announced that.
No, they should not have.
Should not have announced that.
But yeah, man, the other reason is because that Wonder Woman animated movie that they made, nobody freaking bought it. And that was what needed to happen. It was a good movie too. I like that a lot. Typical Spider. Hey, Soundtive. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man surprised me. It was still this strange version that replaces most of his sidecast, but it is definitely more like what I wish MCU Spider-Man was like. Also, one of my buddies who stopped buying comics years ago told me that he will be purchasing all the Marvel DC crossovers and their variants.
Nice.
Thank you guys for everything you bring to the comic community.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, see, that's why they did it, and that's something they need to understand. But yeah, I appreciate what they're doing. I saw the whole series. It's fine. I didn't hate it, and I liked it more as it went. But yeah, I wish they would like live in it. I wish they would play with it. Like I like the MCU overall. I wish that Spider-Man could I don't know. It's a weird situation, but I'm hopeful, there might be a Spider-Man reference in the upcoming Daredevil show in terms of like the same.
How would they? I guess they could.
No, they can say they
just don't remember him.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man exists. They remember him.
True. Yeah.
But but they're doing it in the same way that like they did it in the next Netflix series, where like Spider-Man will be alluded to, but it'll be more of there was more direct references to Spider-Man in Doctor Strange 2 than there will be in Daredevil.
Okay. DNV900 saying rereading Day Tripper before trying ASM was a mistake. Oh no.
Armed Armadillo, shout out to Ben predicting the mini shrapnel bat shotgun. I don't remember that, but good for him.
That sounds like something he would do.
No doubt.
Kirk Peck is saying, you think MCU Rogue should start evil? I love a redeem.
Yeah, maybe. Not evil, but definitely
confused.
Confused. Like Made it for hey Sound Tiff, hope you're well. Aquaman and New Gods are my picks. Have you ever had a chance to play the Marvel Champions living card game? Cheers. No.
Hey, you with the face. Hi, Sal. Would you give Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man another shot, or the show is just not for you?
No, I like it well enough. I certainly like it better than Ultimate Spider-Man, which is just gross. Yeah, it took some getting used to, but I liked it well enough. Like there's some issues that I have with it, but it's not not a terrible show.
Okay.
Stuart Flowers, after watching the new show with you and Ben and Ethan, I now want a Daniel Warren Johnson Army of Darkness. Oh my God, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be good. Matt Fisher saying, might be moving to a country with no shops. What are good digital comic apps?
Well, there is a website called Hoopla that I understand you can use as like a digital library kind of situation. Unfortunately, the quickest, easiest, and most direct way to do it is Comixology, which is its own double-edged sword.
But it is better now. You can buy comics in the app again. So you can purchase it within the Kindle app.
Yes.
Now.
However, there is another solution for you, and it is to subscribe to Marvel Unlimited and DC Universe Infinite. Those two are like a subscription-based system where you can read the catalogs. New books go up, I think, 3 months after they come out. So if you don't feel too bad being behind a little bit, that's the way to do it. It's the most successful, I think, way to do it.
But if you're like me and you like reading books by Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, Image, then you're going to want to go Comixology, and you'll get them as soon as they come out.
Exactly.
And sometimes they do sales, too, on older back issues.
That's right. Extremely Disfigured, sorry, get well soon. Thoughts on the new Batman by Matt Fraction? We shared them. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Matt Fisher back to say, rejoice! Matt Hagen is back, and in Batman and Robin Year 1.
Nice. That makes sense. There's some synergy there. Tea Time 480. Hello. Hope you're both well. Did you hear Batman 2's script isn't done, but they're supposed to shoot it at the end of the year? I've heard they're working on it. James Gunn had like official policy that he wouldn't announce projects without an announcement, Batman being the big exception to that. I hear they're working on it. I hear that Andy Muschietti has to look at it after it's finished, which is a shame. Hopefully they'll move on with a different director. I'm hopeful. I trust them at this point.
Chubub Dreamer saying, hey, thanks to back issues, I went and got Batman Universe. Nice. If I want to read a current super book, is it better to go with Action Comics or Superman?
I think Superman, but I am a little biased. Because A, fantastic art, B, it is kind of a throwback series, but it is certainly tied in with the current continuity, and it builds towards what's happening with everything in current DC.
Oh, absolutely.
Caden McGregor, here's some support. Thanks for the great shows. Thanks, Caden. Appreciate it, man.
Tea Time 480 ahead of Born Again coming out. I was wondering if D'Onofrio really was a diva meeting in person.
Yes, he was. He was a big diva.
Didn't actually get to meet him.
No, we didn't meet him. We dealt with him.
Yes.
And he was a diva, just like they say in the thing. Typical Spider, what do you think of the Tombstone stuff in the show? It's fine. I actually think it's more earned than some other villain rises in other cartoons, but it's weird. It's a weird show. I'm not sure I'm fully sold on it.
Matthew Terlaga saying it was nice. It was thanks to you guys talking about it that I checked out Human Target. I devoured both volumes and am praying it shows up on the couch someday soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I've got other books to deal with, but I would like to talk about Human Target. I love that series. Tea Time 480. I couldn't stand Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I am looking forward to you and DJ chatting about it. Also, did you see the Andor trailer? Looks awesome. I need to talk to DJ about that. I'm going to do that on Wednesday. And I did see the trailer. It's incredible. Andor is for me, it's the original trilogy and then Andor.
Wow.
Those are it easily kicked Mandalorian's ass.
Wow.
I love Mandalorian 1.
The first season. Yeah. First season of Mando was really good.
Yeah. But Andor is better.
Oh.
It's just better.
It's really well shot, too.
Andor is better than the movie that spawned it. Like every time I see a thing for Andor, I'm like, wow, what a good show. They should make a movie about this. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's right. They made one. It was Rogue One. That was okay. But yeah, Andor's great. But yeah, that's it. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Listen, before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out youtube.com/ComicPop Plays and youtube.com/ComicPop for more Comic Pop goodness. Tiffany streams on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. What are you streaming?
Marvel Rivals. We finally have the 4. They're all here.
Yeah. Now let's recommend comics that are coming out this week.
You totally forgot, didn't you?
Yep. Ultimate Spider-Man 14 is coming out. Detective Comics 1094, obviously.
Absolute Wonder Woman number 5.
Superman 23.
Ultimate X-Men number 12.
Justice League Unlimited 4.
I don't have anything on this page.
Oh, Ninja Turtle 7. And, oh my God, I've seen some solicitations for this. Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween is going to be drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz.
I saw that.
We saw the ads for it.
Yes, book. I saw the ads for that. Absolutely.
That's such a must buy.
That's nuts.
I mean, I'm already reading that series.
Yeah, but you're like, that's definitely happening. Yeah. The Flash number 18 is going to be dropping.
That's right. Black Canary the Best number 4.
Interesting. They're bringing out a new Red Hulk book right now.
Wow, that's interesting.
Green Lantern Dark number 3.
Yep.
That series, Elseworlds book there.
Mm-hmm.
Hell Hunters number 3, a book I didn't think I cared about,
but now you do.
I do. I absolutely do.
That's right.
The Seasons number 2, gonna give this another shot.
Mm-hmm. Hello Darkness.
Hello Darkness number 8. Don't forget, that's that anthology book I was talking about. I think that's really fun. You should check it out if you'd want to. And if there were others we missed out on, make sure to let us know in the comments down below. But we'll see you guys next time with another episode here on ComicPop Returns. Listen, if you're jonesing for more. Not only will you be getting more Tiffany tomorrow on the stream, but you can also check out the podcast that is heretofore untitled that I do with the ComicPop crew. We just talked about the 32nd anniversary of Armored Darkness, and we pitched our own video game movies that we want to see. That episode came out yesterday. Check that episode out if you missed it. And there's so much more. So check out everything on this channel. We'll see you guys next time with another episode. But if you love comics and you want to hear more about our comic book reviews, come to the shows Monday nights around 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we'll hang out. It'll be fun. Love it.
Thanks a lot for the super chatters sponsoring today's show. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.